Please tell us a story of how you and Ivanhoe became involved with Oyu Tolgoi, beginning, and I'm just guessing here, with that core display at PDAC.
That's correct.
In 1999.
That's correct.
Sergei.
Ivanhoe went to Mongolia in '96. The reason being, the prospectivity I mentioned before of what we thought might be epithermals and porphyries. Although porphyries was a pretty hard sell actually, because a number of people, highly experienced people actually in gold-rich porphyries, had said that the next big porphyry discovery would be in the young rocks, and also it would be in an island arc environment. All that was known about Mongolia was the Permian Erdenet big copper moly system. However, we thought, well, we'll look anyway. So we were looking around Mongolia, and we were aware that BHP were working in the South Gobi. Rumours were that they had found a porphyry. We had no idea how good it was or how significant it might be. But it went to PDAC, and as one of the displays, one of the booths, Sergei had a for sale sign on Oyu Tolgoi. He had a few pieces of core. He had some of the...
That's Sergei Diakov.
Sergei Diakov. So I looked carefully at this and I thought, right, they do have a porphyry and it's gold bearing and it's something we are looking for. So...
and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but at that time BHP senior management had more or less told the exploration people to get out of Mongolia, get out of Baluchistan,
yes,
and one other place.
Marilia.
Oh, yeah.
I think in West Africa. Yeah, it was. It was a knee-jerk reaction that decimated their exploration division. It was, and I'll certainly give credit to the BHP geologists. They definitely did not want to give up Oyu Tolgoi.
And I think they had to sell off a chunk of Superior around that time as well, didn't they?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. So anyway, Sergei and I got to talking, and I said, well, this could interest us. Can we at some point take a look? And he said yes. So not long after that, I think it was June, I returned to Mongolia, and they were doing tours down to Oyu Tolgoi. So Ivanhoe was one of about 4 or 5 companies that were looking at it at the same time. I went down with Barry Bolton and Garamjov and Sanjadorf, who were the 2 geologists that had been with BHP right from day one. In fact, Garamjov had written in his notebook in 1983 as part of his mapping work for the government on an alkali ring complex nearby that there was copper at Oyu Tolgoi. Some herders had taken him there. So,
what does it mean in the local language?
Oyu Tolgoi?
Yeah.
Oyu means hill, Tolgoi means turquoise. Yeah, but in fact there isn't turquoise there.
There isn't?
No, there's one place where you see malachite and chrysocolla. One place.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah, it is. And it has a history of Bronze Age workings. Maybe they were getting the chrysocolla for turquoise. I don't know. But those workings go back to the Bronze. They were circular pits at South Oyu.
Okay.
So anyway, I go down with Barry Bolton. I looked at the drill core. I was very impressed with the size of the area we'd walked around. Looking at the drill core, I could see there was one hole in particular, had a lot of secondary biotite with good copper gold grades, great stockwork veining. In fact, that was hole number 10 of a 23-hole program, where, and that was down in the southwest area. So I highly recommended to Ivanhoe that a joint venture be formed to look for secondary copper blanket, and also to test for the primary gold copper porphyry potential. So Robert was quick to act on this and said, yes, go for it. So together, myself and the lawyer, Ed Rochette, we spent from June to May the following year negotiating an agreement with BHP. It was quite frustrating because they changed their legal team 3 times.
This is in Melbourne?
No, it was in the US.
In the US?
Yeah. Don Schissel, I think, was involved, and others. Anyway, to cut a long story short, an agreement was signed in June the following year. May or June? May the following year. And then Ivanhoe quickly mounted a drilling program because we wanted to take advantage of the field season. And the first program was RC, designed to test for secondary copper blankets. There was evidence for that in the core. We did find quite a bit, but it was half the minimum target we were looking for. So then the field season ended. The following year, things were getting tough globally. We managed to get a budget for 3 diamond holes to test the primary. There'd been some indication of primary mineralisation in the south part from the RC chips. I sent the data to Charlie Foster, who was working as an independent at the time, and I said, Charlie, please take a close look at this and see what you think. So Charlie sat down with the data.
He was in Vancouver?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I think he was living in Blaine at the time, in the US, just across the border. But Charlie had done some work on and off for a Friedland company in Yunnan many years earlier, which was where he and I met and became friends. So I had a lot of respect for Charlie's geological ability. Anyway, he came back and he said, I think, here's the targets for the 3 holes and why. And it was based on the BHP drilling and the geophysics. So that was approved, and then Charlie and Craig Panther went down to site to set up the drill holes. The first one of the 3 was a vertical hole in South Oyu. It did hit good mineralisation, a lot of bornite, stockwork veining, but it was severely chopped up by dikes. So whilst it was interesting, it wasn't really what we were looking for. Charlie's second hole was an angle hole under the mag high chargeability at southwest Oyu, and it was also a deeper probe of BHP's hole 10, which stopped short in good mineralisation. It was a screamer of a hole, 500 metres at, I think, better than 1%, 1.2% copper and about 0.7 or 0.8 gold. And it was a very well planned hole. Had BHP continued their hole 10 to where the interval Charlie intercepted the southwest ore body, they would have drilled straight through it. So why BHP didn't go back to that, I still don't know. It was good luck for Ivanhoe, good planning for Charlie and his program, and unfortunate for BHP. But that was the discovery hole of southwest Oyu. Garamjuf also was very keen to drill that area, but it was Charlie who provided the technical basis for doing it.
And what was the third hole?
Third hole was a vertical hole straight down the leach cap at Central Oyu, where Dennis Cox had recognised the stockwork veining on BHP's last field trip there. I actually credit Dennis with recognising the porphyry potential when he was consulting for BHP. He was the reason why BHP applied for that ground. His observations at Central Oyu, the leach cap, the stockwork veining, was exactly what they were looking for. It was a vertical hole. It was a successful hole. Drilled the leach cap, went through a considerable thickness of chalcocite, and then straight down into primary high sulfidation chalcocite mineralisation. So it was a good hole. And so when we got the results back, I got on the phone to Robert and I said, listen to this.
Where were you having the samples analysed?
They were analysed at an Intertech, I think it was Intertech lab in UB.
Ah.
Yeah, it was a good lab. Yeah. Yeah, it was very exciting.